There is no God worthy of our worship except Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the messenger of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our gathering. Allahumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those people that they will listen to the reminder and then they will submit themselves accordingly. Allahumma ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those people that they will be righteous servants to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored us, had blessed us with attending the Jumu'ah. And may Allah grant us the blessings of Jumu'ah. And alhamdulillah, mostly we have the Friday nights to talk a little bit about the topic for today's khutbah. If somebody has any questions, somebody has a certain concern, or wanted to have more elaboration, and we give the floor for discussion, inshallah, if somebody wanted to have a certain question, even if it was different than the topic of the khutbah itself. So mainly we were talking today about the concept of living Islam. And we said that there's a big difference between practicing Islam and living Islam. And we gave some of the levels that Allah had mentioned in the Quran. I don't know if you still remember. We said that we have the level of the prophets and the messengers. And number two, we have the martyrs, those who had been killed in the battlefield. And if we said if we cannot be prophets or shuhada, at least we try to be salihin or siddiqeen. And of course, this khutbah was about Dr. Siddiq, you know? So Siddiqi or Siddiqeen, the one who is truthful, the one who is have the truth, the truthfulness in his commitment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But basically, I wanted to get your attention to something. Do you have a certain commitment with Allah? Yes.
Keep the mic a little bit on. The ladies can hear.
Okay. So now, just I wanted to ask, inshallah, I think that's good now for the sisters, right? So if you can hear us, just knock on the door. MashaAllah. No sound at all? MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. What about now? So is that good now, inshallah? Alhamdulillah. So now, just I wanted to ask you, do you have a certain commitment with Allah? Yes or no? Okay. Did you sign this agreement? When? When you said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you signed this agreement, right? Okay. But you renew, so your contract with Allah, when you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Anna Muhammad Rasulullah. But every salah, every rak'ah, you renew the contract with you and Allah. That's why we talk about the significance of Fatiha. So how do you start the Fatiha? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises due to Allah, the master of the whole universe. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. Malik Yawmuddin, the owner of the king of the owner of the day of the judgment. Iyyaka na'bud. Here is the first commitment. What's the meaning of Iyyaka na'bud? Only you I will worship. Only you we seek help from. That's the contract between you and Allah. And then you say to Allah, oh Allah, to enable me to fulfill these two conditions, I ask you, Allah, to guide me to the right path. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. I wanted the right path for those that you are pleased with. And I do not want the path of those people that you are angry at or you misguided them. That's the meaning of. So Surah Al-Fatiha, you repeat it every rak'ah because you wanted to renew the contract between you and Allah. See how we look at now to Al-Fatiha? That's why when you stand in Salah, you see people. You see that kind of contract? Wallahi, if you have a worker in your company and you want to write contract, like you will cut the contract, go out. You tell him you are fired, right? Because that's not a contract. That's not a contract. It's when you read Al-Fatiha, feel that meaning that every time you say Iyyaka na'bud, oh Allah, now I am signing my contract with you. Now, we give the example of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And why we chose Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? Because we are talking about as-Siddiqeen, and he is the leader of as-Siddiqeen. We are talking about the truthful people, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was the first one granted this title, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the truthful person, the one who was so honest, and the one who had the truthfulness in his commitment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But do you know something very interesting about Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that I didn't mention today? You know, he born 2 years after the birth of Rasulullah. I know the sisters, maybe they are hungry in the back, but you know what? If we got more sound from the sisters' side, we will deduct a piece of meat from their plate. Is that a good idea? Okay, let me ask the sisters now so they can pay attention. Sisters, are you ready in the back? Just one said a big yes. Are you ready in the back? MashaAllah now, you see? Okay, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, born 2 years after the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But do you know when did he die? Do you know when did he die? Okay, he died 2 years after the death of Rasulullah. So he came 2 years after his birth, and he died 2 years after his death. And Rasulullah died 63 years old, Sayyidina Abu Bakr 63 years old. Do you remember what I said today about him? That he was a genealogist. What we call it ilm al-ansab. Like if you talk, like if our brother Samir talked with him, brother Samir, where are you from? From Bosnia. Okay. And he looked at his posture, his face, and he told him, what's the name of your father? Could you tell me what's the name of your uncle? That's enough. He will give you the whole tree for the family. And he will, that was the talent of Sayyidina Abu Bakr. He will give you the history of your family and will tell you, like, they were famous of what? They were so generous. They were so educated. You have lots of doctors in your family. You know, that was his way. He was alim, a scholar in al-ansab, to tell you the names of the families and they traveled from where to where, and you can add that he was a good merchandiser. He was tajir. He used to buy and sell, and he was so successful, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. But do you still remember how much he paid for Sayyidina Ali to free him, for Sayyidina Bilal to free him? You see, yes, 9 uqiyah. And each uqiyah has 30 grams of gold. So who did the calculation? 30 multiplied by 9? 217 grams of gold. Okay, so can you buy them now? 217, mashallah. That's almost how much? Like 80,000, 70, 18, 27. You know, brother Ismail, if he's here, he will finish this idea. Yes, I mean, because that's his field. And Allah said, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ, and ask the people of specific field. Like, I cannot ask, when we come to a cardiology, we have Dr. Zaki, you know? So I cannot give fatwa about the heart, right? And subhanAllah, that's the greatness of Islam. Everyone has his own specific field. And brother Abdullah cooked the food, so we cannot ask him, I cannot give fatwa about food, which spices that he used. But we are going to test this after a short time. Okay, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, one of the things that we can add to his biography, a great statement that Rasulullah said about him. Before the death of Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to the minbar. Rasulullah came to the minbar and listened attentively. Then he said, there is a man that Allah gave him the choice whether to stay in the dunya or to die, and that man chose to die. The companions are sitting, they didn't react. The only one cried was Abu Bakr. So they said that he became an old man, and why is crying? So Abu Bakr understood that Rasulullah is talking about himself. That Allah had given him the choice whether to stay on earth or to die, and Rasulullah chose to die. That means he's going to die very soon. That's why he cried. So when people started to blame Abu Bakr, why do you cry? Why do you refer to Rasulullah? Rasulullah gave the golden statement. He said, Da'u li sahibi. Leave, you know sahibi, sahib. You know sahib, right?
Yeah.
Imam sahib, you know? When the first time I came to the United States, and I went to Michigan, to Sterling Heights. Then I had the Pakistani community there. So when I entered, they welcomed me, Imam Sahib, Imam Sahib. I said, I am Imam Ahmed. I'm Imam Ahmed. This is Imam Sahib, Imam Sahib. I thought that they considered me, my name is Sahib. I said, no, I'm Imam Ahmed. They said Sahib, like our friend or our brother. And Imam Bai, then I realized Imam Bai, Imam Sahib, alhamdulillah. So now, and subhanallah, you know, when you talk to somebody and he starts to tell you, acha, acha, you know, acha. So I started to realize, like, yes, go ahead, go on. So, alhamdulillah, I started to pick up some of the words, and I believe, alhamdulillah, that I can understand something now. So he said, Sayyidina Rasulullah said, Da'u li sahibi. Leave my sahib alone. Do not bother him. Then he said, Inna kulla man kana lahu yadan alayna jazaynahu biha. Everyone had a favor upon us, upon Rasulullah, I give it back to him. Means I did favor in return. Illa Siddiq, except Abu Bakr. I couldn't give him favor in return. I left that for Allah to take care of it. So who is taken to honor Abu Bakr Siddiq? Allah himself. Then, you know, the houses of the companions were close to the masjid, and some of them were stick to the masjid, and even the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had a gate to open to the masjid. So he said, he gave the instructions before he died. He said, "Suddu kulla khawkhatin min al-bab min al-masjid." Close and unlock every door to the masjid. Close it. It's not allowed anymore to have a door open to the masjid after my death. Suddu kulla khawkhatin ila al-masjid. Close it. Don't open it again after my death. Illa khawkhat as-siddiq. Except the door of a Siddiq. Allahu Akbar. Leave it open. Because somehow Rasulullah knew that, or he felt like Abu Bakr will take over after him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you know, look at the adab. Look at that. Can you imagine? He traveled with Rasulullah. He was the first Muslim. He migrated with Rasulullah. He supported Rasulullah. Even the time at the early days of the da'wah, people gathered to beat up Rasulullah. And he came, he protected Rasulullah. And he's Abu Bakr, very rich. Why you put yourself in this situation? You are a very known person, very rich person. And people gathered, and because he was protecting Rasulullah, they started to beat him up on his face. And Rasulullah was consoling him. And he said, "Oh Rasulullah, if they came back to attack you, I'm here to defend you." And his face was bleeding. Look at this journey. And I just, before we go to the dinner, I want to take a little snapshot, like something very little, but it has a big meaning. When you talk about the death of Rasulullah, could you imagine when Rasulullah died? And Abu Bakr wasn't in the city at that time. So they sent somebody to tell him. Could you imagine how he felt when he got the news that Rasulullah passed away? Subhanallah. He came running. They opened the door and he entered, and he was alone with Rasulullah. He closed the door and he removed the cover from the face of Rasulullah. He looked at him and his tears came down. And he said, طُبْتَ حَيًّا وَمَيِّتًا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. You smell nice while you are alive, or even if you die. You are good and you are handsome, O Rasulullah, while you are alive or when you die. Then he said, Ya Rasulullah, أما الموتة التي قد كتبها الله عليك فقد ذقتها إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. He said, as for the death that Allah had prescribed upon you, now you taste it. I cannot say anything except إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. And he cried a lot, but he found something, that the companions started to lose the control of their minds. Imagine if you have a beloved wife, if you have a son and he passed away. So what do you feel? What about if you have Rasulullah amongst you and he died? How do you feel? The best of the creation of Allah. They started to lose their minds, and he wanted to reinforce their aqidah back, to grant them the power, to support them. He went to the minbar of Rasulullah. Look at the adab, look at the etiquette. The minbar has 3 steps. He couldn't stand on the 3rd step that Rasulullah used to stand at. He stood up at the 2nd one. That's adab. He's at that time, but still, he has fiqh. Then he gave his famous word. He said, أيها الناس, O people, من كان يعبد محمدا فإن محمدا قد مات. Whoever used to worship Muhammad, Muhammad died. ومن كان يعبد الله فإن الله حي لا يموت. And whoever used to worship Allah, Allah is the ever living and he never dies. Then they started to reflect and realize, yes, we worship Allah. We do not worship Muhammad. Yes, it's so hard upon us to see Rasulullah dying, but inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And that situation, alhamdulillah, Allah made it the reason to bring the ummah back to the iman. Look at Sayyidina Abu Bakr. How many years passed till today? For more than 14 centuries. And where we are in Florida, in Newport Richey, in the United States, to places that Abu Bakr himself couldn't imagine that there would be Muslims who would talk about his biography. Could you imagine? I imagine like where we at right now, and when he was hiding with Rasulullah in the cave, Ya Rasulullah, if they looked down, they will see us and they will kill us. Wallahi, I hope if Sayyidina Abu Bakr come and see that mashallah Muslims are spreading, and mashallah Islam 14 centuries ago and since his time, and Islam as a deen, as a religion, still breathing, still alive, still spreading. And I gave you that statement two Jummahs ago. I said, and please memorize this, Islam is that type of religion. If they kept it free, it will expand. If they attacked and fought Islam, it gets more strength and power. That's so do not worry about Islam. I had lots of emails. Imam, you see what they did, They are campaigning, they are trying. Yeah. I tell them, is that my religion? Is that my religion? I own it. Am I the one who sent that religion? No. Who sent that religion? Who promised us to keep the Quran safe? Allah said, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidun." So do you have iman? Do you have iman that Allah will, as He kept that Quran? Imam, look, they issued a page on the internet. They changed it, the tashkil, they changed that letter. Oh, Imam, that's a first step to do the corruption for the Quran. Imam, we need to be aware. You know, those people who are so panic. Keep calm. There is Allah who is protecting the deen, not me, not you. There is Allah. The equation about you, when you die, then will be questioned in front of Allah. What did you make for that deen? That's it. That's you. If every Muslim started to think about his position in Islam, that's the most important thing. You know, one of the statements my father said to me before I traveled here, he said, you know what? You are my oldest son. I need you next to me. It's not easy not to find you next to me. But I sent you for a great purpose. I didn't send you for dunya, but I sent you for the deen. I sent you, and maybe I die and we don't see each other in dunya, but I need to be proud of you in the hereafter. So we have something, we have a mission to do. Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the right path. Allahumma ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like as-Siddiq. Allahumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this level of being Siddiqeen in our deen. Allahumma ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khair. And just wanted, before we go, just wanted to make a dua for Brother Malik. He is in the hospital. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him shifa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And one more thing, and just wanted, that's a personal request. You know Imam Muhammad Yahya, he is the Imam of Masjid al-Salam in Dunedin for 2.5 years. And today was the last day for him in Masjid al-Salam in Dunedin. And he is traveling, moving to Ohio, to Cleveland, to another masjid, inshallah. I just wanted you, inshallah, he will drive at Fajr, or after Fajr, inshallah. He will take his way driving to Ohio to live there and to be responsible for being Imam for a masjid there. He got a new contract there in that masjid in Ohio. And you know Imam Muhammad, like, he is my close friend. We were together from the middle school in Al-Azhar institution. Middle school, high school, university, and more than 15 years in the religious ministry in the Egyptian government. So look at, after this long journey, and we spent here 5 years together, and subhanallah Rabbil Alameen, that wasn't easy for me to get the news before the Jummah. And subhanallah, I told him, subhanallah, you distracted me with that news. I couldn't even prepare the khutbah. I talked with my wife and said that's difficult for me to concentrate in the khutbah while he is, you know, traveling and moving away. But just I wanted you, please make dua for him, and may Allah make it easy for him, inshallah. And may Allah make it a successful mission in Ohio, in Cleveland. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And of course, I'm going to miss him a lot. And those who used to attend the Tuesday lecture, of course, we were taking our breakfast today, me and him and Imam Jalal. So we were talking about, so what can we do on Tuesday? We will give back me and Imam Jalal alone. Of course, we are going to miss him, but may Allah make it easy, inshallah, for Imam Muhammad Yahya, and make it a successful mission, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.